This is my iPhone, and I used to get distracted every time I picked it up. So instead of dumbing down my $1,000 phone, I decluttered everything unnecessary, and now it actually keeps me focused. Here's how I set it up. I have the iPhone 16 Pro in Desert Titanium color, which is basically a fancy beige on the back with rose gold on the outer edge. And for my case, I have the Arc Pulse case on. One time I dropped it on a staircase with the case on, and I'm sure you can see some of the scratches, but it honestly protected the phone and my screen didn't scratch. I really love this Arc Pulse case. If you want to learn more about this case, you can check out the review video I made a few months ago. Before I dive into what's on my iPhone, I want to quickly talk about how I'm keeping my screen safe thanks to today's sponsor, Ultra Glass. Their premium screen protector offers military grade 9H protection, tested with 12-foot drops and 20,000 scratches. Even the packaging felt premium. My girlfriend literally said that while she was unboxing it. And installation was super simple. You put on the frame, pull it, and that's it. There are no bubbles. Even my girlfriend got it right on the first try, and she usually hates doing this stuff.
So pretty, right?
It's full coverage, keeps the screen crystal clear, and includes 365 days of extended service, covering both installation and accidents. With over 121 million purchases and top ratings on Reddit and Mac Rumors, check it out through the link down in the description box below if you're due for an upgrade. Alright, so for the lock screen, I keep it very minimal and simple. It's just a picture of my girlfriend that I took and edited using the Apple's home screen feature. So if you go to customize your wallpaper, you can go through different styles of photos that automatically edits for you. And I was able to find the black and white version, and I thought it looked great for my minimalistic look. And for the shortcuts on the bottom, you'll see that I have the flashlight and the camera that comes default with the iPhone. I've thought about changing these, but I just actually use the flashlight and camera pretty often on my lock screen, so I just keep them as they are. I've never been a person to really customize their iPhone home screens, but one day I was on Threads scrolling. I saw this minimal look setup. The creator's name is Daniel Ansari. If you're interested, I can link his website below where you can check out his different setups as well. This did cost me $5.50, and honestly, I support it because it's something he was able to create on his own. But if you were looking for something free, sorry to disappoint. Anyway, the setup is pretty simple. The top widget gives you a quick glance at a calendar, and on the top right, it'll give you a quick glance at some of the notifications you have. And if you click on the widget, it does take you to the calendar app, so you can also use it as a shortcut. And the widget below shows more details of your calendar events as well as your reminders. And you can actually interact with this widget, so you can go back and forth between your calendar and reminders. You can't really customize what shows on these widgets, so for the calendar, it'll show you exactly what's next on your calendar by timeline, and for the reminders, it'll show you next tasks that are due in chronological order. It'll just default to the to-do list from the reminder app, so if you're the type of person who utilizes the reminder app with a lot of different lists, you can't really customize and choose which one will show up on your widget. And for the dock, these are my essential apps, so I have my phone, messages, Spotify, and Safari. And if you're curious about how I was able to get rid of all the names from the apps, you just have to go to Edit Home Screen, go to Edit, Customize, choose Large. And once you do, you won't see the names of the apps anymore. And I think it just looks a lot cleaner that way. I won't go into depth with all these 4 apps in the dock. Phone app, Messages app, very self-explanatory. Spotify is my go-to music app. I've tried using Apple Music a few times, but for now I think I'm sticking with Spotify. And lastly, the browser I use on my phone, default is Safari. I actually use Google Chrome on my MacBook as my default browser, but for my iPhone and iPad, I just default to Safari. The home screen really works for me because it's very simple and minimal. It doesn't really have a lot of apps or a lot of widgets that show you a lot of information. So I feel like when I unlock the phone and just look at the home screen, I'm not tempted to go look at different apps or open social media. I won't get into every little detail as to how to set this up. It does require a widget app in order for you to set up these widgets. And this was a mistake on my part, but in the descriptions when you're buying this setup, clearly says that you need to have the widget app. And unfortunately, you do need to pay for the Pro version, which cost me $8.99. So in total, it cost me $14.50, almost $15. All right, and to the left of the home screen, I only have 2 widgets here. I used to have a lot of different random widgets that I never used, but when I noticed that I really only use the weather app and the battery widget, I decided to just stick with those 2. So this allows me to have a shortcut to open the weather app whenever I want to, but Also, I can just get a quick glance at the next 5 days, as well as what the weather's gonna be throughout the day in the next few hours. And the widget below is for batteries, and since I use a lot of Apple products, this comes in really handy, especially for my Apple Watch or AirPods. I can take a quick look at what the battery percentages are for each device, and if I need to charge them, I can do that. To the right of my home page is my second page. Initially, I just wanted to keep my home screen with these 2 widgets and call it a day, but since I do have some apps that I use frequently throughout the day, it was actually counterintuitive to have them not easily accessible. So I ended up narrowing down to 8 apps that I use a lot, and I just put them on the second page. I have the Gmail app, which is pretty self-explanatory, and then I have Google Maps, which is my default app for maps. Next is my YouTube Studio app, and if you're also a YouTuber, I'm sure you'll understand, but I'm addicted to checking my YouTube Studio. I'm trying to do it less, but it is important for me to check how my videos are doing, if I get any comments, so it's there for easy access. Next is the Photos app. I honestly didn't think this would make the cut, but after a while, I realized that I need to go back to find some pictures, or I need to send some photos to my friends. So I ended up adding it to the second page, and I don't regret it. Next 2 are my most used note-taking apps. Notes app from Apple is my go-to for taking just random thoughts that come into my mind. I mean, if you take a quick look, you'll see that it's not organized at all. It just has a lot of random notes. So I'll get to organizing at some point, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. Next is my Notion app. So this is where I have my YouTube kind of quote unquote command center. This is where I'll take down any ideas for my YouTube videos. I'll work on scripts for videos that I want to make. It's a work in progress, but I'm kind of proud of what I've made so far. So if you're interested in seeing more, definitely let me know. Next is my spending app. This is my main finance tracker app, and it's honestly nothing complicated. I basically track every single dollar I spend. So if I were to buy a $10 meal, I'll put it in my expenses. It's not to be a penny pincher, but it's just a habit that I built a few years ago to make sure that I understand the flow of my spending and earning, and it just kind of stuck around. And the last app that made the cut is settings. I don't need to explain too much about the settings app. There's a lot of times I need to actually go into settings to tweak something. So I just figured having it on my home screen helps me save some time there. Oh, I forgot to talk about the action button on the left side of the iPhone. So currently I have it set up to open up my reminders app so I can quickly jot down notes or to-do list item that I need to get done. And that's really it for the home screen setup. You'll notice the theme is minimalism and just making sure that I have the apps that I use a lot accessible and the apps that I don't want to use basically invisible. All right, that's it for my iPhone setup and how I was able to kind of declutter my iPhone to make sure that I can stay focused during the day. And it's not perfect, and I think I'm gonna tweak it as I go, but for now, it works really well for me. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye now.